Hello there, I'm Chris Cohen, and thank you for joining me for episode number 7 of Gowing Life's Longevity Weekly. This is where I give you a quick rundown of just some of the amazing work that our researchers have been looking at over the past couple of days. This week, we've got 3 really interesting topics, all from the world of longevity, health, and wellness. So, without further ado, please sit back and enjoy. For our first topic this week, we looked at a study that explored the genetics of height. Now, height is thought to have been a characteristic that has been completely dominated by your genetic makeup. A good way of determining how tall a person is going to be in the future was to look at their mum and dad. The exact genes that determine our height have remained a mystery up until very recently. In the largest study of its kind ever, researchers gathered genomic information on 4.1 million individuals spanning 5 different major ancestral lines to determine the genetic makeup of what makes us tall, short, or just somewhere in the middle. This landmark study identified over 10,000 single nucleotide polymorphisms. These are single letter changes to our DNA that play a key role in determining our height. The results showed that 40 to 50% of our height is determined by our genome. This is actually less than previously thought. Now, height is one of the first pieces of information that you take in about a new person that you meet. That's why I think this is such an interesting study to work out a bit more about the genetic basis of this characteristic. An interesting point of this study was that 99% of all of the single letter changes that they found were actually located in only 30% of the entire genetic sequence. This means that these genes are easier to track down and we can actually see how they interact to observe how they work together. Now, for our second topic this week, we looked at a paper that made some very bold claims about the future of genomics. Genomics is a study of entire genomes of organisms, starting with the launch of the Human Genome Project in 1990, which saw the sequencing of the first entire human genome. Over the past 3 decades, the field of genomics has established itself as one of the key players in the world of health research. Breakthroughs in this relatively young field increasingly demonstrate how genomic information can be effectively used in the clinic. A review recently published in Nature has given 10 bold predictions of what might happen in this field over the next 20 years. The first prediction on the authors list was global sequencing. So generating and analysing a complete human genome sequence will be routine for any research lab. Prediction number 2 is that we'll know the function of every single gene in the body. Prediction 3, the general features of the epigenetic landscape and transcriptional output will be routinely incorporated into predictive models of the effect of genotype on phenotype. And number 4, deeper analysis of the human species. So research in human genomics will have moved beyond population descriptors based on historic social constructs such as race. Number 5, more accessibility to genomic data. Our studies that involve the analysis of genome sequences and associated phenotypic information for millions of human participants will be regularly featured at school science fairs. Number 6, increased clinical use of genomic data. The regular use of genomic information will have transitioned from boutique to mainstream in all clinical settings, making genomic testing as routine as complete blood works. Number 7, the clinical relevance of all encountered genomic variants will be readily predictable, rendering the diagnostic designation variants of uncertain significance obsolete. Number 8 is ease of access to individual data. In the future, an individual's complete genome sequence, along with informative annotations, will, if desired, be securely and readily accessible on their smartphone. Our prediction number 9 is for more inclusive genome data. Individuals from ancestrally diverse backgrounds will benefit equally from advances in human genomics. Currently, the reference genome is mainly made up of Caucasian individuals of European descent. And prediction number 10 is curing many genetic diseases. So breakthrough discoveries will hopefully help lead to curative therapies involving genomic modifications for dozens of genetic diseases. Now, I'm definitely not the only one that hopes all of these predictions come to fruition. And to be honest, at the rate that the field is progressing, they may well do. So now for our third and final section. Aging is an extremely complex process. It is for this reason, and the fact that the rate of aging is so varied between both species and individuals, that we don't truly know how to quantify it. To try to understand it a little bit better, it's important to know what it looks like and how it tangibly manifests itself into our lives. A trio of scientists based at the University of Copenhagen in Denmark use machine learning to mine the biomedical publication database PubMed using age-associated terms, amassing a collection of research publications that delve into the science of aging and its related conditions. By analysing this compilation of research papers, the team built up a network of associations between the different concepts of aging. As you can see in this image of the clustering of the concepts into functionally similar groups. The aim of the investigation was to further characterize this complex process. The authors created what they coined the defined human aging phenome, a landscape of observable characteristics of human aging based on their prevalence in the population. This analysis is based on studies which include a combined total of over 76 million individuals. As you can see here, the authors have listed the phenotypic traits along the y-axis, with the prevalence along the x-axis. The most prevalent of these traits being greying of the hair, muscle weakness, and facial wrinkles, which you see in almost everyone. This is a really interesting and useful graphic, which I think tells us a lot about what aging actually looks like at a more fundamental level. The authors conclude that this critical knowledge of the aging phenome could determine possible outcomes for clinical trials, help uncover how different pathologies arise, and even identify novel biomarkers of aging. And that is it for this week's Longevity Weekly. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to find out more, then please visit the Gowing Life website, www.gowinglife.com, where you can find all of this week's articles, including how our pets age, the benefits of fasting, and the role that gut bacteria plays in Alzheimer's disease. So go and check it out. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I hope you have a great week. Goodbye.